y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Paranormal Journals right here on Black Mass Paranormal. So I had another subscriber reach out to me. He is a very Tennessee guy. So in his encounter that occurred in the Appalachian Mountains, it goes back to one of our biggest aspects in the Appalachian culture. And what I'm talking about is ginseng. So for those of you all who don't know, ginseng is a root that grows in the Appalachian Mountains and in parts of like China that are harvested, that are used in Eastern medicine. Now, most people don't really correlate a root to being worth a lot of money. But the ginseng plant is one of those plants that is extremely valuable. For example, there's something called a man root. So the plant itself grows and the root is actually in the shape of a man. Now, I've heard stories of just a single root fetching $1,000. $10,000. I've heard up to $100,000, but I find that a little bit of a stretch, unless it was just some massive, unbelievable specimen. So Billy had reached out to me about him harvesting ginseng one season. He said he was moving up this huge slope. He noticed a cave entrance right there where he was looking for his ginseng. Now, as he was moving up this slope, he started to hear this type of clicking sound. He couldn't tell exactly which direction that it was coming from, but he said that he just kind of ignored it and kept harvesting his ginseng. About 30 minutes later, as he had worked himself up closer to where this cave entrance was, he looks up and he sees a man that is shirtless standing at the edge of the mouth of the cave. He said when he looked at the man, he was like, I couldn't tell exactly what I was looking at. He said that he felt like he was looking at another person. He described the man as being extremely distorted. He said that his jaw alone was kind of like off-centered, that his eyes were almost white, that he almost didn't have any color or any pupil that he could see in his eyes. He said that the man kind of like was pacing back and forth, but as he was walking, like his gait was very strange, that it was not a normal kind of pacing. Like the guy was kind of limping, but in a fluid type movement. So it kind of panicked Billy, and he started to kind of move back around the opposite side of where the mouth of the cave was. As he was moving kind of back down the mountain, he started noticing bones. He said that there was just piles and piles and piles of bones. Basically any type of animal that you would find in the Appalachian Mountains, there was this huge pile of their bones kind of sitting there. At that point, that's when Billy started to panic. He realized that he was way out in the mountains and he had just come across somebody that didn't want to be found. So he immediately starts moving back away from the mountain, and as he's looking down the slope, he says that he sees something else. He claims to have seen another one of these disfigured looking people that were actually closer to a creek. He said he couldn't determine whether it was male or female, or if it was an adult or a child, But whatever it was, he said that it looked extremely unhealthy, that he was just kind of looking at this thing, but at the same time, he knew at this point he had one below him and one above him, and he had to figure out a way to get himself out of there. So Billy then starts moving back up the mountain. He said his thinking was that maybe as long as this thing just didn't look up, that he could keep out of the eye line of the one that was actually in the what looked like to be a cave. And he was able to slowly work his way out and get to safety. Now, this account to me is one that I was looking forward to hearing. With the history of East Tennessee and the Appalachian Mountains, you hear a lot of stories about moonshiners and Gensingers and just overall outlaws. So in this situation, Billy was able to actually see this thing and get away from it. Now, he said the account happened in the probably early 90s. Whether or not these things are in the area that he gave to me, you know, who knows? I'm gonna do my best to go out and see if I can locate where at least Billy was. I seriously doubt that something, you know, these feral people being out there, I don't see them hanging around in the same spot for that long. So I'm going to do my best to go out and see if I can locate the area that Billy was and maybe get a bit better understanding of, you know, is it possible for a human to survive in that particular environment? You know, he described a creek and he described a cave, so to me it seemed a little bit more reasonable for somebody to actually be able to live and survive out there. Now, the question is, am I going to be able to find this location? He gave me a great indication of where this cave was located. So, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this encounter. I had initially hoped to go up to Kentucky last weekend and film something pretty amazing for you all, but it just kind of didn't work out with the weather, and I'm kind of already put myself in a bad situation as it is. I don't need weather to make things worse. So I've got a lot of stuff lined up. I'm going to be back to cranking out videos. So I'm going to be trying to post 3 or 4 of these Paranormal Journals videos. I think I can crank out a week plus an investigation. I think that's pretty reasonable for my channel, my size. Speaking of which, guys, we passed 30,000 subscribers. That's so amazing, and I'm so thankful for every one of you all. I intend to take you all on some of the best adventures out there, researching the paranormal, enjoying the mountains, hiking, doing all the stuff that I love to do. I'm so excited that you all like doing that stuff too. And so if you have not hit that subscribe button, definitely give this video a like. Turn on notifications, that way you know I'm out here running my mouth again. And until next time.